getting well. And it was incredibly humbling, incredibly humbling. And I had done work as an adult child of an alcoholic. But to be there with people and their stories and their willingness to show up and be honest, it was incredibly humbling. And I have found that my understanding about addiction and recovery is the single most important understanding I have in order to make my life work and to help other people make their lives work. Because I had a client recently who'd been depressed since she was 15, and she was in her 30s and had all this history of all these counselors, etc. And I said, well, so tell me about your family of origin, any addiction issues. And she said, oh, well, and turned out, yes, there were. And I said, hasn't anybody ever asked you about this before? And she said, no. It's just, are you kidding me? Because it gives a framework for what's happening. It just helps make sense of things. It's not your personal pathology. It's part of a whole system, and it's just one of the first steps to getting out of it is to understand what you're in. So I see it everywhere, and I see people not wanting to deal with it. And when I talked about, I affectionately and with love call them spiritual growth junkies. People who don't want to feel the unfun feelings. They don't want to feel sad. They don't want to feel angry. Just all those very human emotions. And addiction is all about escaping that feeling in your gut, anxiety or whatever it is. And so we'll do something. We'll clean obsessively. We'll drink, we'll use drugs, we'll overparent, just completely, constantly invading what's happening with our children. And it's a way for us to stay out of ourselves because we're always dealing and fixing with other people or seeking solutions from the outside. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal to really commit to loving yourself as you are. As you are right now, this second, every second. How am I? Who am I? And I love myself, and I'm ready to shift into the next thing. So I'm going to just see it over and over and over again. It's where people are stuck. It's the skip in the record that just keeps going, da-ding, 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 and doesn't change until you deal with it.
Yeah, we actually become robots of our own making.
Go ahead.
And I strongly believe, Vicki, that this is something we have. Well, I don't believe it. I know it in my being. Is that this is something we do when exactly at the moment when we lose our innocence. When we lose our innocence, we take on whatever judgment we take on about ourselves and make our life about that.
Yeah.
And we create this dual view of the world, and there are thousands of variations. That's why you could look at the Cosmopolitan magazine and see a beautiful woman, and you can get to know that beautiful woman, and everybody in the world sees that woman as a beautiful woman. And there's a very high possibility that that woman, when you get to know her, feels that she is very ugly.
It's so true, and it's about shame. In fact, I'm dealing with somebody right now who is so beautiful that everywhere she goes, people are around her like bees, and yet she has been afraid to go out in public without makeup. It's like, are you kidding me? You are so gorgeous, and you want to be even more gorgeous? Isn't that just, like greedy?
Yeah, because
is it gorgeous enough? It's about, and I said to her, I don't want you putting makeup on when you're feeling that you're not okay, because you're just basically smearing this stuff on your face saying, I hate myself, I hate myself, I hate myself. It's okay to wear makeup, but make it an act of play and of self-love. And like, aren't I pretty? And look at that red on my cheeks. Look at me. Yowza. You know, it's not the act, it's the attitude that you do the act. And